Hello and welcome to the weekly video digest of Kashmir University Quest. First, let's take a look at the highlights of the week. Foreign diplomats from US Embassy interact with students. History Department organizes oral history session. And we also have a report on DSW's one-month workshop on Youth Parliament. Now the details with your host Binish Ali. The Department of Students' Welfare organized a meet of students with foreign diplomats of the US Embassy in India. Faculty members from the Economics and Management Studies also participated in it. Christopher Elms, the Economic Growth Unit Chief of US Embassy New Delhi, while introducing himself to the audience, said that South Asia is the place where the world is focusing its gaze.
This is where the action is at, and this is where the world is looking over the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. It's in a place where development is on the rise, which is not something you can say for a lot of the world right now. And it's a place where, from an American, we see a natural affinity between us and South Asia. Not just here in Kashmir, not just in India. It's the whole subcontinent that we see. There are people here that are, it's loud, it's messy, it's vocal. It's the sort of democracy that we have in the United States. And there's a love of sort of your democratic rights, personal rights, human rights, property rights, and we see a natural fit between the United States and India and the entire subcontinent, really. So I'm here today to talk a little bit about sort of U.S.-India economic relations, and in particular, one event that we're having later this year.
Mr. Christopher said that the Global Entrepreneurship Summit will be held in India, during which business fraternity would try to understand the needs of Indian entrepreneurship industry and business community so as to foster the bilateral relationship between the two countries.
It's called the Global Entrepreneurship Summit because this is the 8th version of it, and we've had it around the world. We've had them in Indonesia, in Morocco, in Kenya. Last year's was in Silicon Valley in the United States. And we're going to have a global participation too. So there will be about 1,200 entrepreneurs there, about a third of them from India, a third of the United States, and a third of them from around the world. And there will be about 200 investors. And so the investors will be coming to India, seeing what India is like as a place for entrepreneurship. They'll be meeting with these investors. It'll be a place for India to really shine and show the entrepreneurial spirit here. And so that's what we're looking to do, is to facilitate entrepreneurs meeting investors. There won't be a lot of folks from the government there, which is a good thing. Entrepreneurs to meet investors. And there will be a location there, sort of a stage where announcements will be made. In previous summits, we've seen millions, tens, hundreds of millions of dollar deals happen at the summit itself when entrepreneurs are meeting investors.
Senior macroeconomist, Embassy of US, Mr. D. Jagannath Rao was also present. Placement officer of the business school, Mr. Muhammad Ayub Shah, also spoke on the occasion.
I have felt that awareness is missing in the whole system. Okay, you have people who have ideas, both within the education system and outside the education system. They have ideas, but how they can promote those ideas, how you can connect them, so that link is missing. So either it has to be the education institutions, or it has to be the business institutions, or it has to be administration. So I feel there is no dearth of the potential out here, but channelizing that potential is very important, and we need to do a lot. Say, as you are saying, Global Business Summit, I would personally feel that our state represents itself with some very good people. We already have those models, and those should be the people who have worked from the grassroots level. And once you project them at a global level, their vision would improve. Okay, so they would start not only locally, they would start thinking globally. Yeah. That would be one thing. And second thing is they would create positive role models. We'll have our positive role models in our own society. One person will definitely inspire and motivate hundreds of other people.
Some students and faculty members also spoke on the occasion. During the interaction, they raised the issue of incentivizing the entrepreneurship, creation of specialized economic zones, need for harnessing the hydroelectric potential of Kashmir, opening of traditional trade routes, dearth of infrastructure, availability of open market, and the need to arrest the political instability. Liaison Officer Miss Nasia Nakash conducted the proceedings of the function. The Department of History, in its series of recording oral history, invited former Dean of Arts and Head of English Department and EMMRC, University of Kashmir, Professor Ghulam Rasool Malik. Assistant Professor of History Dr. Yunus Shah introduced Professor Malik to the audience.
It is a moment of pleasure to have an interaction between our faculty, research scholars, students, and the renowned Professor Dr. G.R. Malik Sahab. It's not an easy task to introduce a person whose academic and scholarly credentials are beyond any description. It won't be possible for me to include all the information about you, sir, and I found myself in a complete state of dilemma the day I talked to you on phone and I was given this task to initiate the process and fix a time.
Head History Department Professor Mohammad Yusuf Ganai initiated the process.
You have lived in your childhood in rural society. Sir, it is not a remote past for we people, but we would like to know about rural economy, village economy during your childhood times.
Professor Malik told the audience that during the Dogra regime, many things were not recorded which overtly look sympathetic.
The Dogra regime had explicitly as well as implicitly given birth to a kind of culture, official culture, in which the Muslims were treated as hewers of wood and drawers of water. Yes, yes, I have read Bazaz, all books of Bazaz, but there are certain things which they don't record. For instance, there was an instruction, standing instruction, that if a Muslim boy, the girls were not educated then so much, if a Muslim boy passes his matriculation, do not wait, immediately employ him somewhere. He should not go to the college. He should not go to the university. This was an unwritten law, and this was known to the officialdom. All officers of the Maharaja's regime knew that Muslims have to be encouraged. This you tell them that you are so sympathetic towards them. As soon as they pass their matriculation, you appoint them to a 4th degree job or whatever.
He said that it was during the reign of Maharaja Hari Singh that schools were opened throughout the valley.
He was the first who started caring about opening schools at different partners. Yes. Comparatively liberal. Most liberal of the Dogras. Otherwise, education was not available. How could Muslims be equal to other communities when there were no schools? There were very few households who imparted knowledge to their children. Otherwise, there were no opportunities. People didn't have any access to knowledge. How could they learn? Whereas the other community which lived here, we don't have any bias against them. They are human beings as good as we are. But the fact remains that they were aligned with the establishment and they reaped the benefit. And then they created a myth. And the myth is still prevalent among some people that there is a particular class or community which are intellectually far ahead. No one is potentially, you are as good as they are. It's only when you get the opportunity, you hone your potential, you hone your abilities. Otherwise, the ability is given by God Almighty to each one of us. Some people get the opportunity, other people do not get the opportunity.
Producer EMMRC Mr. Ijazul Haq moderated the discussion.
I have been a student of Professor Malik, so I have this honor. Sir, I was really engrossed in your discussion about the past, and the question that was coming to my mind is that we have a human tendency of glorifying the past. Poets have it, philosophers have it. Wordsworth says that it's not now as it hath been of yore. Or Iqbal puts it, Dod piche ki taraf, gardishe ayyam tu. Or whenever we recollect our childhood stories, the stories that had happened earlier, now we are no more a part of that, we always recollect it with such joy. Even if I have been punished by my childhood teacher, when I narrate that story of getting thrashed, I narrate it with such relish and such joy. But when it was happening, then it was pain. But now when I am narrating, it ultimately and automatically turns into a kind of joy, a bliss.
Assistant Professor from the History Department, Dr. Javedul Aziz, proposed a vote of thanks. Many students and scholars put forth their queries before Professor Malik. The Division of Youth Affairs of the Department of Students' Welfare is organizing a one-month-long workshop for the 14th Youth Parliament. The month-long workshop is being held in the Convocation Complex of the university. Speaking to the Quest team, students said that such type of workshops are important to prepare for such a big event.
This workshop is all about how you actually learn to speak, developing your confidence, developing your motivation, your dedication about things that are very simple in life that we generally ignore in life. Herein we also learn a lot of teamwork. We are like a family, all those 55 members, when they unite and you actually look into everyone's speech, you look into everyone's hard work, and each one of us actually works very hard to reach that position, that level wherein we are actually felicitated by the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs, New Delhi. Unfortunately for victims to the vigilantes, just because they committed a crime, a mistake of entering a cinema. Honourable Speaker, sir, how does the government justify this unacceptable behaviour? Your opposition today wants to know.
They said that the month-long workshop not only hones their skills but gives them time to iron out their mistakes and improve upon.
Well, the training in the first place, we are actually using our time in a very productive way. It's not exactly studies, but we're learning much more than this, which would be very fruitful for us in the future, especially if any of us would be interested in politics, let's just say, or, you know, if someone would, of course, want to be part of the parliament, which would be a dream come true for anyone for that matter. So these are the basics which would really help one to enable themselves, you know, and how they can really understand how the parliament really functions in the first place, and how is it that the bill is passed, and what exactly is it that really goes on. And once we get to know that, which the common man wouldn't really know, it of course takes us a step higher.
जिस वर्ड के पास पहुंचे आप, मैं जब बोलूंगा थ्रो इट आउट, तो वहां से स्टार्ट करेंगे बोलना, आवाज भी आएगी, थ्रो इट आउट.
It was a great challenge for me because my speech is in Hindi, that is not our first language, and it was our mentor Shahid sir, under whose guidance we just acted upon everything that he said, and there were various training sessions that were carried out in the university campus, and it is very beneficial for us because we can't learn all that in our classes. Just as my other friend said, that we don't learn such things, a common man won't learn it. Many of us are aspiring to be a part of administration, to do civil services, and I guess this is a nice platform where we get to know that how we have to speak and how we have to behave in in administrative institutions.
During this workshop, students are preparing for competing in the Youth Parliament. After this workshop, students would compete with each other in the valley before they proceed to participate for the 14th Youth Parliament. Program Coordinator Mr. Shahid Ali Khan said that so far the students of Kashmir have performed really well, and this year he is expecting them to be among the top 3 teams.
Earlier we participated in the youth parliament, same kind of a youth parliament, which was conducted across India, and we topped it and we were awarded first prize in the group level, and then we competed against the best universities across India, and we were adjudged as third. This time again we got an opportunity and invitation from Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs to organize a 14th edition of National Youth Parliament competition. It took us 1 month to train the students in a workshop First phase is the script writing, then memorizing, then what you do in acting schools, actually in drama schools. Same जो formula है हमने यहाँ अपनाया. Scientific methods to learn and to teach, to learn and then to deliver.
He said that for the past 1 month he has trained the students in various aspects of how to debate in a parliament session.
जो हम यूथ पार्लियामेंट इसमें कर रहे हैं, इसमें जो लोकसभा की सिटिंग होती है पार्लियामेंट ऑफ इंडिया में, इट्स लाइक लोकसभा मॉडल parliament. Basically, the initiative of Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs is that in every university, in every college and in every school, we must have a parliament of your school, of your college and of your university. And Kashmir University में भी हमने यही इनिशिएटिव उठाया, और जिसमें हम तरह तरह के इश्यूज उठाते हैं. फिनांस का इशू है, पॉलिटिक्स का इशू है, टूरिज्म का इशू है, और भी सारे इश्यूज हैं जो इसमें हम उन पे डिबेट करते हैं. और मेन चीज इसमें ये होती है कि आप में कितनी सकत है, आप कितना सुन सकते हैं, आप में कितना अपोजिशन होता है, आप में कितनी स्ट्रेंथ है, आप में कितनी पेशेंस है किसी और का आर्गुमेंट सुनने के लिए, और उसके बाद उस पे रिबटल करने के लिए आप में कितने सारे आइडियाज हैं. सेम पैटर्न हमने यहाँ किए. 1 महीने के अंदर हमने स्क्रिप्ट राइटिंग सीखी, 1 महीने के अंदर हमने डायलॉग डिलीवरी सीखी, आर्गुमेंट कैसे करना है, ये सब हमने इस वक्त मिलके हमने इस वर्कशॉप में सीखा.
With this, we come to the end of today's program. In case you've missed some part of the program, you can log on to emmrckashmir.com where you can watch the whole episode. Do send us your suggestions at our email address quest@emmrckashmir.com. Leo Tolstoy wrote in his book, "Everything intelligent is so boring." With these words, I take your leave. See you next week. Goodbye.